Welcome back to Nintagious Overnight. 7 Hawks Logan Blue, what are you still doing up? but welcome, good to have you. Oh, I don't have the bot running. I'm sorry. What am I doing? What am I doing? Truth is, as of like 10 minutes ago, I wasn't even sure if I was going to do an overnight stream, so I already had everything shut down. But give me a minute. It should be Nintagious unless it just is like being dumb, and then I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't list the moderator ranks properly. And yeah, Logan, I thought you were gonna be asleep by now too. Turn this up a bit more again. Hey Nintendo fan, welcome back. Yeah, there you go. Bot's working now. Yes, I have 1 million pixels. I gave myself 1 million pixels when... I don't even remember why. I guess so I just didn't have to think about it. Alright, yeah, we're gonna get back into Starlink tonight. Maybe finish it tonight? Maybe? I don't know. It's not really... We found out last night this game isn't really a game you can finish. Which is cool. I'm totally into that. Let's look at the save file. 97 hours. Hot damn. I wouldn't count... I don't count myself being in the running for pixels or hours, because I basically only gave... I just gave myself pixels just so that if I ever need them for any reason, then I'll have them, basically. Well, technically Blue had the rank displayed until I added Nintagious. But I see what you're saying. Why did it say Legion Infection Critical on Vilus? There's literally no Legion on Vilus right now. Are you high? What the hell are you talking about? Do I have, like, more Rex up? I do, I have more Rex up again. So, you can't even, like, finish all the Rex, can you? Okay, well, that's worth noting. I'll only finish the other stuff, I guess. I forgot to look in, I forgot to look up if anybody's figured out, like, how that, like, 100% completion works. Let me look into that really quick. Yeah, so for those of you who weren't here last night to hear my spiel about, there might not be people talking about it that much so far. Yeah, for those who weren't here to hear my spiel about what Nintagious Overnight is, this is basically for the nights where I finish the stream and I'm going to continue playing a game all night anyway, and so I might as well just stream it. They're typically going to be a little bit more casual, a little bit more chill. There's probably going to be a lot of, like, pausing the game and just, like, kind of talking with you guys. I already do a lot of that on my main stream, so, like, I guess it's not that much different. But, like, last night I was doing, like, behind-the-scenes stuff at some points. Like, I was adjusting stuff with my layout, and, there's something else I did at one point where I set up the new game for the next pledge. Like, I did stuff like that. Like, I wasn't afraid to, like, pause the game for like 5 or 10 minutes to do something. There's a chance I might go get like something to eat, or I might, on some nights I might be doing laundry or something. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen tonight, although I do have to do laundry. It's not something that has to be done right now, so I'm not really worried about it. You know, I considered the name Uncut, but I was like, Seven's just going to make dirty jokes about that, so let's not do that one. But unscripted isn't bad. That might have worked. So where are we going? Like, whoops. Sorry. Let's see. Let's see. If I remember correctly, these 5 planets are all done. Except for the Rex, which I guess they just continue to refresh themselves, so there's really no point in doing those. So my primary main objective for tonight is going to be Ashar and Necrom. Let's go to Ashar first, I think. Yeah, we still have a lot to do on Ashar. That's what we're doing first. Damn it. Boop. And just fast travel me over here. Hey Paul, how's it going? Welcome back. And JMT as well. Did you just get here or have you been here? Either way, welcome. How's it going? Something I'm curious about with this game is, like, the collection shows stuff just in space. How have I not discovered this stuff? It's a little curious. I guess I'm not going to worry about it too much. Just yet. We'll just mosey on to the... this way. Yeah, I couldn't really decide if I could or if I was going to or not, but then I was like, well, I'm just going to be sitting here playing Starlink anyway, so, like, I might as well. It'd be kind of dumb if I didn't. And Nintendo fan, like, not really. I'm up all night anyway. I'm like third shift, if you want to call it that. Night owl. Like, I'm always up all night. So I wouldn't really call it an all-nighter. Because an all-nighter to me is like I'm actually up all day. Yeah, on Discord I mentioned not being sure. I was thinking about, like, I am 99% sure I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow because I'm kind of exhausted, and I'm planning on going pretty hard on streaming for the week of Halloween. So I kind of want to recharge before Monday. So I think tomorrow I'm definitely going to take off. And plus what we were talking about earlier about how, like, sometimes I start streaming and I see all these other cool streams that I would rather watch. And that was kind of tonight, but, like, I figure tomorrow I'll do that. I'll just hang out in some other streams and do some networking, maybe. It makes it sound like that's all I'm in it for, and that's not the case, but, like, hanging out in other streams, like, you know, gets my name out there, so. Hey, Coulter, how's it going? And yes, this is really loud for some reason. Yes, this is Night 2 of Nintagious Overnight. It went pretty well last night, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I just need to pace myself. I need to not do it, like, every single night, because if I do it every single night, I'm going to be streaming 8 hours a night, and I'm going to be freaking exhausted. Even when I was doing those morning streams there for a while, I got so tired doing those. So for now, my thought is it's going to be on weekends, because that's when people are going to have the time to watch. So it's going to be like Friday night and Saturday nights, probably. Otherwise, it'll be like if a new game comes out and I'm, like, just going to be playing the entire time anyway, then I'll probably do it those nights. They won't be scheduled, though, I don't think. I don't think, like, I have the schedule tab on the Discord that lists, like, here's when the streams are. I don't think they're going to be scheduled. I won't say, like, we're doing it on this night for sure, this night for sure. I won't even say, like, this is what game we're going to do. I'm just going to kind of wing it, I think. Just do it when I feel like doing it, you know? In some cases, I can just be like, well, there's somebody else live that I'd really like to watch, so I'm just gonna do that instead, or, there's no one really live tonight, so I'm just gonna start another stream, which is basically what the morning streams were. Okay, you can land. There we go. Whoa, that's crazy air from that. These guys are pretty high level. I think because the Legion still has like a pretty firm grip on this planet. So I think stuff's a little bit stronger. By the way, 7... Oh yeah, probably have to fix the like counter. I hate how that, like... I hate how it does that. I don't know why it needs to be refreshed. It's a completely different stream. I guess because I didn't reboot OBS. I guess that was what caused it. This should fix it. Yep, there we go. By the way, 7. How did Murphy's Smash stream go? I was sad that I didn't get to... I was hoping he'd still be going when I finished so I could go hang out for a bit, but he was already done by that time. And yeah, Paul, as long as you do networking correctly, I think there's no problem with it at all. It's very potent when you do it correctly, too.
Samples like this are a valuable resource. It will fetch a high price at any outpost.
Last night I was working on a new layout. I was working on the layout for 4x3 games, which I used for Star Fox 64 tonight. And while I was working on that, like, I randomly had my subscription alert come up, and I was like, I'm getting alerts while I'm not streaming. That tells me I'm doing something right. That's exciting. Like, that is exciting. Where's this chest? This isn't the first chest I've been like... Where the hell is it? It might be through... It's through here. I gotcha. It's underground. Alright, let's drop down here first and get... You? Great, now we got fucking... I used the wrong button. And yeah, JMT's catching up quickly. Logan did, like, barely pass Raph tonight. Light counter's fixed. And yeah, Coulter, what on earth were you doing on the Discord? I saw that. Don't think I didn't see that. Oh yeah, it does sound like a good stream. Good. Good.
Yes. Analysis. The Nova may be more easily dislodged if targeted with heat weapon.
I'm like... I think it's gonna be... very big new audience. So that's good. But I think there's also gonna be... It's gonna be frustrating, I think. So... It's gonna put me and my mods to the test, I think. Happy Lux, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Stream is offline. That had to have been YouTube. It hasn't. It literally has not dropped on OBS for me. Like, I didn't even get a disconnect notification, so that had to have been a YouTube thing.
I had a small claim on a shard, but I couldn't hack it.
What
all that ash. Not to mention the
was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I try to keep up with what you guys are saying on Discord. I just typically don't respond to much of it because it's hard to respond to everything, you know. But I do try to at least read like what you guys are up to. Hey Volp, welcome back. Yeah, YouTube, like, the past, like, couple weeks has been, like, kind of odd. At least chat doesn't seem to be lagging like it was yesterday. That was kind of ugly. I do still have species to scan here, so I should keep an eye out for them. I also need one sample. Let's go take a look at that, actually. Sure. What is that? I don't think it's a monster drop. I think it's an egg or something. Okay. What do you got going on?
What do you want, stranger?
Hey, View, welcome back. Yeah, Nintagious overnight hype.
Outlaws roaming out here, I've got nowhere safe to store my electrum. Those old silo farms would be just the thing.
And you know, Coulter, the bad thing is you say something like that blew through me out a window on Discord, and my first thought is, well, what did you do to deserve that? It's not even, like, I don't even think, like, bad blue, bad. No, my first thought is, well, clearly you did something that, that would have deserved a reaction like that. That's just the type of person I am, though. Gotta keep in mind that, like... So, some of you guys have probably seen this, where people will come into streams and they'll say, like... They won't even say hi, they'll just be like, I got banned from another stream for no reason. Whenever I see that, I'm like, there was a reason. There was a reason. You're just not acknowledging what the reason is. Also, my Discord's blowing up. What's going on? Yeah, you were kind of capsing the entire Pokemon theme song. Yeah, let's do that. That's something I gotta do anyway. That's what I was gonna do next, as a matter of fact, so it's cool. Man, I haven't, like, watched, like, TV or a movie in weeks. Like, it's been so long. I'm just, like, I have, like, I've said before about how I don't like to use the phrase, I don't have the time for that, because realistically, my job is YouTube and freelance artwork. I have time. Time isn't an issue. But for some reason, I have a hard time justifying taking the time to watch TV and movies.
Starlink database updated.
I just blew this place up. That was not what I meant to do. Including myself. Holy shit, look at my health. Alright.
Getting toasty.
Nice one. I feel better knowing I won't have to stuff my electrum under the floorboards the way my pops did.
Hey, no.
Yeah, typically, I don't really like it when anybody comes into a stream with anything other than hi, or how you doing, or hey, cool, you're streaming. I love watching your stream. Like anything at all that like acknowledges the fact that they're coming into a stream. But then you see the people that like. Logan was memeing the other day because somebody came in the one night and didn't say hi. All they said was Smash Brothers leak. It was like, yeah, I get it. It's a little annoying. Little annoying.
Around the same time as the other planet.
And for the record, they might have said hi, but it was definitely like they came to the stream with like, and I've seen other people do this. I saw it happen in View's stream where somebody came in and they didn't even say hi. They were just like, literally, I know you don't want to hear about Smash Brothers, but there was a Smash Brothers leak. Like, that's literally what they said. And it's like, what? People are crazy. People are crazy. Yeah, exactly. Like, I see it as when you're coming into a stream, this is maybe, like, overthinking it, but I look at it as my stream and my chat is, like, my home. And I'm inviting you guys over to hang out. That's kind of the way I look at it. And if you were going to somebody's... If you were going to somebody's house for, like, a party, you wouldn't walk in with something like that. You would come in, you would enter the house and be like, yo, how's it? Hey, how's everybody doing? Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? You greet people like an actual human being. And people don't do that in streams. It's weird. Like, people... But I think they should. I think that's how... like, one of those things of, like, if you guys learn anything from my streams, it's that I think you should look at streams as, like, going to somebody's house for a party. Except you don't have to bring snacks. Like, it's win-win. Call the corner of the house so I can read. Oh, Blue. And hey, Mr. Switch, how's it going? Welcome back. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. Maybe that's overthinking it a bit, but when I go to a stream, I usually try and wave. Hey, how you doing? What do you think of the game you're playing? Oh, I haven't played this game in a while. I don't know anything about this game. Oh, I love this game. Like, just commentary on what's happening in the stream. If you walk into, again, if you go to someone's house for a party, you walk in and they're playing Twister, you're not going to be like, so what'd you guys think of the football game last weekend? No, you're going to be like, oh shit, you're playing Twister. Who's winning? Like, you're going to comment on what's happening around you. That's like proper etiquette, I think. It's weird how people online think it's just the internet, it's not actual socializing, so the rules are different. It's not the way I look at it. I think the rules still apply. Like, in the exact same way. If you would, well, again, if you would walk into someone's house for a party and say there's a Smash Brothers leak, chances are they would look at you like you're insane. Yet somehow, when a streamer acts like somebody's being insane when they say something like that, people are like, well, you're a dick. It's like, are you kidding me?
We're busy here. Don't have time for strangers.
You're being weird. Like, just, no. Don't act like I'm the weird
I
one.
need a replacement. Feel like checking the production plant nearby?
Not really.
Gotta
That sounds
clean the weapons
tedious.
in those old ring cells before anybody else does. We can't break the
Yeah, that's useful. I can do that. Hey Art, how's it going? And yeah, I realize I'm pausing a lot because I'm like talking to you guys, but
We'll move in to grab the rest.
sadly there's not a lot of, well, there are extractors. Let's go do some fun shit. We're gonna finish up this little burst of stuff here, and then we're gonna make our way over here and actually fight some Legion, and we're gonna like show off a little bit more of the game. That's what we're gonna do.
Keep an eye out for Legion while you're busting that lock.
Yeah, I think the only exception is if, like, you come into a stream with, like, a meme greeting, like... Hey, View, I see you've got a lot of cores on you. Are you looking to trade? Like, that's different. That's funny, but...
Launching data decryption.
Which I guess we'll get some, Oh, this is actually Legion. I was expecting these to be outlaws. Cool. Ooh. Loot.
I'm burning up.
Oh boy.
Nice choice. Your weapon's tearing them apart.
But yeah, there's for those who haven't been seeing a lot of this game so far, it's they made a major misstep in regards to like microtransactions and just asking for money basically. But even then, it's not as bad of a misstep as other games. But I could still see why people would like be a little turned off by it. Honestly, I wouldn't blame anybody for being like, ew, paywall shit, fuck that. But if you can get over that, I think it's probably one of my favorite games this year so far, honestly. Yeah, View. Maybe we should collab on it.
Hack successful.
And make a video about stream etiquette.
I don't know for sure, but there may be more electrum left on a shard than any other planet.
And yeah, Nintendo fan, that leak got me. I actually believed that leak was completely true for a while. That last one, which people are now calling the Grinch leak, and I'm not sure why it got that name. But I actually believed it for a while, for a few reasons. There were a few things about it that made me go, this might be real. But I think it's like 100% confirmed fake by now. I think they found enough information that was like, no, it could technically still be real, but if it was real, the guy, like, tried to pin it on somebody else, and it's like, why did they go to all that trouble? What do we need on this planet? Workshops? Workshops. Okay. Or an observatory. We want an observatory, like, out here somewhere. Workshops for here. Oh, did you fall for it too? Yeah, it's because the backstory was like, all of it like lined up so much, and it was like there wasn't anything about it that was like, okay, I didn't talk about this last night because I asked if anyone wanted me to talk about it, and nobody said anything, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna bother. But I had a theory myself back when they revealed Belmont and K. Rool. I conducted I created a theory that I call the multiples of 4 theory. And it was basically saying that the final roster of Smash Brothers is going to be a number that is a multiple of 4, and the number of echoes need to be a multiple of 4. Like that, those are the requirements. It has to be like at the time I said it was going to be 72 characters and 8 echoes, I think, which still sounds pretty accurate. My reasoning for this, and I apologize because I said we were going to get to some cool shit here now, and I'm like totally going off the rails, but that's how we do it on Nintagious Overnight. My reason for that is because Smashdown exists as a mode. Smashdown is the mode where whenever you use a character, they are removed from the roster, and you can only use each character once. These guys are very meticulous game designers, and I think they would want it that when Smashdown ends, there's no characters left. They wouldn't want a game of Smashdown to end with like 3 characters left on the roster. Therefore, the roster has to be in a multiple of 4. Or 8, because I don't know if Smashdown's available in 8-player. But let's go with 4. So, and therefore, since echoes are toggleable, you can either have echoes being in their own character slot, or you can have them doubled up with the character they're echoing. They also have to be a multiple of 4, so that it works with or without echoes. So that was my theory. This leak made it 76 characters, which is a multiple of 4, and exactly 8 echoes. And I thought that that was too much of a coincidence. Like, that alone had me believing it. I was like, the fact that it meets this theory I have, that I perhaps believe in too strongly, tells me that this leak is real. But then, like, by the next night, like, I went to sleep and woke up the next day, and everybody was like, no, it's fake. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. So I guess it was just a coincidence. View, if you're hanging out, this is why I told you that we're probably going to get 3 more characters, and 2 of them are probably going to be echoes, sadly. Because that would make 72 characters and 8 echoes. And that's kind of just what I'm believing. I could be wrong. I could 100% be wrong. But I also think when they created something like Smashdown, they were kind of like, we'll just make sure the roster is a multiple of 4. That makes sense, right? Then it all fits. And then they were like, we can just add in some extra echoes to make that number rounded out. We'll have some stupid echo picks, which they do, but it'll make an even number that fits into that gameplay. It seems a little insane, I realize, but some people I've explained this theory to, they're like, that actually makes like so much sense that it has to be it. Like it has to be. So yeah, that's why I believed the leak, because it matched my theory, and I was like, this is it. This is our final roster. This is, I'm gonna come to terms with it. We're gonna have to deal with goddamn Shadow and Ken, but that's the reality now. I'll just come to terms with it now. Anyway, long-winded rant over, and watch View probably wasn't even here to hear any of that. And hey Dan, how's it going?
Man, it's getting cold.
These guys still take too long to kill. There we go. Done. Yeah, it was funny. When I first made the theory, I was gonna make a video about it and everything, and I never got around to it. I should have, though, because if I'm right, like, if I wind up being right, I'm gonna regret not putting it everywhere on the internet and being like, I'm the guy that called it. But yeah, when I first made the theory, I was like, I think one of my friends, I was explaining it to him, and he was like, yeah, like, I could see them just making some, like, really stupid, uninspired echo choices just to bloat the roster and make it meet that requirement. And I was like, oh, you mean like Chrom and Dark Samus? And he was like, oh shit. You right. The funny thing is some interesting Smash discussion could have come up when I was playing Star Fox 64, but I didn't allow it to. Here's the sort of stuff I want to speculate on with Smash, is like, there are still characters where we haven't seen their final Smashes yet. What's Yoshi's final Smash gonna be? Because he's probably not gonna have a transformation anymore. That's the stuff I want to speculate on. Is stuff like that. Like what's going on with final Smashes, since they're changing so many of them. Nobody talks about shit like that though, and that's part of why I don't like Smash speculation, because I remember that was the fun with Brawl, was talking about like, man, everybody's getting final Smashes. I wonder what Peach's final Smash is going to be. I wonder what Yoshi's going to get. I wonder what Donkey Kong's going to get. Nobody talks about that anymore. What's Young Link gonna get? What's Pichu gonna get? We don't know. They weren't in Brawl! Nobody talks about that, though. It's sad. It's sad. Sadder is that Young Link's is probably going to be the same as Toon Link's, so... Yeah, Wario Man was hilarious. It was always a good time. I mean, I will miss that. I will miss that. But some of the transformations I didn't like, so it's kind of... I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that disappearing. And we do have 10 likes. Let me do 100 pixels. I did not give 50 pixels at the beginning of the stream, I don't think. That is my bad. I'm really bad at remembering to do that lately. Well, I actually didn't have the bot running at the beginning of the stream because I'm dumb, so... Yeah, let me give you an extra 50. This is thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Mega Evolution smashes. Lucario's was really boring. I thought his Final Smash in Brawl was better. And there you go. Is he gonna get his Brawl Final Smash back? You would assume so. Charizard's clearly getting triple finish back, which I think is stupid. I thought that was a pretty dumb Final Smash, but can't win them all, I guess. Like, what's Diddy Kong gonna get? His is probably gonna be new. There's still a lot about the game that we don't know that could actually be fun to speculate about, and nobody speculates about that. It's all just Shadow the Hedgehog for Smash, and it makes me want to choke people. It's not fun. I don't know, I do some pretty dumb things sometimes. Yeah, Pichu is definitely meant to be a joke character. I'm mixed on it. If this were Smash 4 and Pichu was coming back, I would have been like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? When they brought Roy back, I was like, why that character of all things? Which is funny because I love playing Roy in 4. He's a ton of fun. But since it's everybody's here, I'm cool with it. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. One last hurrah for Pichu. That's alright.
They once had a big prison break on a shard. A lot of outlaws were looking for revenge. But never doubt a prospector's will and heart. They defended themselves well.
Donkey Kong's new Final Smash is amazing. It's kind of, like, boring, but I don't know. I like it a lot better than what he used to have. Okay, let's actually go blow some stuff up. How's that sound? Yeah, Donkey Kong got his changed. He just like you know the end of stages in Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze where you bash on the barrel, or when you like hit the boss after you beat him, that's his Final Smash now, which I think is like way better. Way better. Yeah, Pichu was in Melee. Why did I just open fire on those guys? I'm sorry.
That weapon's doing the trick.
Fuck off. There's a lot of fire giants here.
Extractor is vulnerable. Target the main structure.
I really like that you develop your planets correctly and you have all these guys helping you take these out. It's pretty cool. That is a good point, Logan. It's pretty much identical to Little Mac's new Final Smash, so that kind of sucks. But I don't know. I didn't like the bongos. Thought that was kind of whatever. And Donkey Kong's like one of my favorite characters, so it kind of sucks that I didn't like his Final Smash. I don't think Captain Falcon's is gonna change. Oh no, I see what you're saying. That yeah, there's gonna be a lot more cinematic Final Smashes now, like Captain Falcon's. I think I'm kind of okay with that. I don't know. Something I don't like about the transformation Final Smashes is that you can break the Smash Ball and you don't have to worry about aiming it. You can just mash on B until it activates, and then everybody just has to deal with that for however long it lasts. It's not the best design. Because, like, some characters, you get it and you have to, like, place it flawlessly to actually get kills out of it. Diddy Kong doesn't have to give a shit. He can just mash on B until it activates and then fuck everyone. Although Link got a new Final Smash too, but I get what you're saying. Whoa. Mr. Game & Watch's new Final Smash like isn't any better though. And it's kind of sad. Like it's still really kind of dumb, I think. But when you have 70 damn characters, they can't all be winners. Like let's just come to terms with that. You're not going to be able to have a 100% unique idea for every single character. It's going to be really hard to do. I'm okay with Link's being changed solely because otherwise we'd have 3 Links with the same Final Smash. Because we're assuming young Link's Final Smash is going to be the same thing. So that would have been kind of dumb. And like, I don't know, I don't really like the Final Smashes that weren't based on anything. And his was just like Triforce. But that's not something he does in any of the games, so now Zelda's Final Smash is like a trapped in a Triforce thing, and that's actually something she does in the games. So I'm into it. I like it. I like the stuff that actually has a background. I don't like Mario's because it's this big giant wave of fire, and it's like, when has he ever done that? He throws fireballs every now and then, but that's about all there is to that. He should get, like, an invincibility star or something, and then, well, but it would have to be a transformation, though, so that wouldn't work. But I was gonna say, what if he goes invincible and he can just run around the stage and just collide with people, and it does a ton of damage? That would be something he actually does. Oh.
Corrupted Nova samples like this
Bing.
are invaluable.
Oh, that didn't do anything. I've never tried to shoot those at enemies. I figured, what the hell, let's try it.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
Got another one. Let's keep this party going. And yeah, you have a point. There's a chance young Link could have gotten Fierce Deity's mask. And now, I mean, he still could. He could use it before he uses the Triforce Slash or something. It actually wouldn't surprise me if that happened. But yeah, see, this is like the fun stuff to speculate on, I think. Excuse you. What did I do to you, you goddamn chicken? Get back here. Not done with you yet.
DNA profile complete. Fauna identified.
But yeah, on the other hand, like, I don't really like the Final Smashes that bend the lore. Like, now Link uses an ancient arrow from Breath of the Wild, but it's like, don't those only work on ancients? Or they're supposed to be designed to only work on ancients, so why can they work on the other characters within the Smash Bros. Universe? That doesn't fully make sense, but it's also kind of like, it's whatever. It's okay. They've done stuff like that before. It's not the biggest... Like, need I remind everyone about the theory about how all Nintendo characters are undead because Belmont can use holy water on them. So... what's the difference, I guess? Ooh, this is a wow. This is a level 4 extractor, or rank 4, or tier 4, whatever you want to call it.
Taking fire damage.
See, I don't even like the Link Between Worlds Zelda that much, but it's alright. I like the variety. I still like the Twilight Princess Zelda most, I think. Design-wise. Let's just, like, carve a path back. Let's actually go over here and see if maybe they give us a quest to, like... They might tell us to go to go get these ruins, so I might as well multitask it a bit. Oh, do ancient arrows work on other enemies? I think when I played Breath of the Wild, I don't think I used them on anything but ancients. I don't think I even... What the hell was that? I don't think I even used them on ancients because, like, they were too, like, valuable. I got it in my head that I was like, no, these are hard to find. You can't. You have to use them very sparingly, and therefore I never used them ever.
Complete. Fauna identified.
Get hell out of here, Glavenus. Holy shit, those zoom in and everything.
Oh, what a cutie. It's called an enderbite. That nose filters out ash from the air so it can find food.
Interesting. What's this? Would you? These things are assholes. What the hell? Get out of here. I think I was mostly okay with Link Between Worlds Zelda because, yeah, using the Breath of the Wild Zelda wouldn't have really made sense for that design. She showed combat capabilities like once in that entire game. Twice, technically, I guess. Hey Indigo, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Let me back up because I missed a few other things. See, I don't know, when it comes to game, like, with the Ancient Arrow and just, like, destroying enemies, like, instantly, like, I don't know, that takes the fun out of it for me. I'd rather fight them, like, legitimately. It's why I don't like using the special, the special ability in Starlink here, because Razor's special is, like, more powerful than a nuclear warhead. Like, it just decimates everything. Like, where's the fun in that? Sometimes it's fun because it's like, well, just for the appeal of look how fast these things die, but sometimes it's like I want to actually like fight things. And I kind of get what you're saying, Nintendo fan, in terms of the timeline. I had a fun theory, actually. Although I think this has been deconfirmed. I had a theory that, Hyrule Warriors merged the 3 timelines back into one timeline, because that's the only way that's the only way Breath of the Wild makes sense. Because Breath of the Wild references, like, all 3 timelines, and that doesn't make any sense. So they would have had to have been merged back together into one timeline for it to work. So therefore, Hyrule Warriors is canon. I highly doubt it, but I think I think when they made Breath of the Wild, they were not giving a shit about the timeline. I think they were like, let's just make a game. As a matter of fact, I think that's how they develop every Zelda game. I don't think they care about the timeline until later. That might be why the storyline of Skyward Sword is a little cringy, because they're like, they set out with the intention of being like, this is the first game canonically. So they kind of put that at the front of it. They were like, we're gonna focus heavy on the story here, which might not have been a good idea. But not to completely shit on that game for anybody who's like never heard me talk about it before, because I played Skyward Sword a couple months ago on stream and I really enjoyed it. Actually, it wasn't my first time playing it; it was my second time, but I still like enjoyed it more than I thought I was gonna. And yeah, Indigo, I'm, like I was saying a little bit ago to somebody else as they came in and they were commenting on the game, they made a major misstep with paywall, but even then it's not as big of a misstep as other games have made, but I still really recommend the game. I think it's a really good game. And I don't like open world games, so it's like I feel like my praise means a lot, because typically open world games I'm like, ew, get it away. Let's see. Not doing that. We're not doing that. That's what we can do. That's what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
Hey there. We'd benefit greatly from some of the cores you're carrying, if you wanted to barter.
I mean, mileage may vary, but I've already put in... When I started tonight, I was sitting at 97 hours played, and I'm gonna say I'll probably hit at least, like, 110, maybe even 120 before I finish. Like, completely finish. Maybe not 120. That might be pushing it a little bit. Let's do this while we're here.
Be advised, procedure has a high probability of attracting Legion reinforcements.
Hyrule Warriors was a really good game, I thought, and it has a lot of gameplay in it. One of these days I'm going to pick it up on Switch, just so I can stream it, because I have the Wii U version, but the Wii U version, like, was not very good. The 3DS version had so many quality of life improvements, and the Switch version has all of those and then some, I think, so if I were to play it again, I'd want it to be on Switch. It's just... Since I bought the Wii U and the 3DS versions and all the DLC twice, I kinda am like, I don't want to spend $60 on it again. Would you get the hell out of here? There we go. Okay, back this way. Yeah, so there's two things I don't like about open world games. One is what you're saying, Nintendo fan. It's like the world is just kind of empty and there's nothing to do. And the other one is... It's not truly open world, it's just there's a lot of side questing. And there's a big difference between having a lot of side questing and actually being an open world. This one dances the line between the two. A lot of games just have, like, their linear main campaign, and then that's, like, 10% of the game, and the other 90% is side questing, and you can get lost in that for hundreds of hours, but ultimately, you still have to progress through the main campaign to unlock those quests, and that's really bad design. Breath of the Wild is truly open world because you can completely ignore the main campaign and go straight to the end of it if you want to. It's the best thing that game does, is it delivers on the open world promise. Like I said, this game dances the line. It still has a linear main campaign, but it doesn't feel like the side quests in this are locked to that campaign at all. You can go to the other planets and do all these things on the other planets without following the main campaign, as far as I can tell. So I'd still say it's pretty well designed.
Warning.
you can't skip to the end of the campaign like you can in Breath of the Wild, but it also has a similar design to Breath of the Wild where, like, you know how, like, if you do the 4 Divine Beasts, Ganon is weaker. And it still has that sort of thing, except it's even layered even more, because you have the extractors on the planet, which are the ones I've been fighting, and, like, those are the, like, tower spire things, and for every extractor active, the primes are stronger, and for every prime active, the dreadnoughts are stronger, and then for every dreadnought active, the final boss was stronger. So there was even more, like, intricate layers to that. Because I could have gone to the final boss with all of the dreadnoughts still up and just been like, well, it's just going to be a harder fight. And I have went and fought some of the primes when they're at full strength just for fun, because why not? Let's see what else they can do at full strength. And they do have, like, other phases and, like, more health and other attacks. And I think that's an interesting approach to gameplay. You can take the extractors out to make them weaker, or you can just be like, let's just take it full strength.
Gravity is intense.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
Nice work. If my scans
I also
are
like how this game handles a lot of its depth. There's, like, multiple ways to do things. Like leveling up these outposts, for example. You can go take their quests, and the quests are going to send you off to, like, go scan creatures or find some material and come turn it in. But if the quests are totally boring to you, you can just, like, go gather stuff and then just take them materials and just unload and level them up that way. Sometimes the quests will be like, hey, go claim these ruins that that you haven't done yet. But you also don't need the quest to go claim the ruins. You can just go do that on your own. I haven't, like, through all of this game, I don't think I've ever felt like I've had to do something a certain way. I can just do it whenever I want to. And it's like, that's what open world is to me, is that, like, that's what the promise of open world is to me, is that the game doesn't really have an agenda. It lets you make your own agenda. And that's what makes it fun to get distracted and go off the beaten path. I've seen a fan timeline of the Mario universe, and it's kind of funny, because they try to say that there's a timeline split just like in Zelda, and it gets so convoluted and hilarious.
Target destroyed. I'm on fire.
I don't think there is a Mario timeline, though. Similar to how I don't think there's really a Sonic timeline. Which I think is a good thing. I don't think you should have to... If you want to sit down and play Mario Odyssey, I don't think you should have to have played 3D World and Galaxy and 64 to, like, know what's happening. Not in a Mario game. That doesn't really make sense. I think Nintendo in general kind of feels that way about their games. Because, like, all the Zeldas are, like, kind of unrelated to one another, right? So you don't really have to have played one of them before you can play the others. There are a few exceptions there. But even then, like, Majora's Mask takes place right after Ocarina of Time, but I wouldn't say you have to play Ocarina of Time to play Majora's Mask.
Structure called Fate's Anchor. That's what put all this fire and ash on a shard. Used to trigger these massive fires.
I think that's why the Pokemon games are mostly in completely different regions, because then they're like, you don't have to know what happened in the previous region, you can just take this one for what it is. And I'm kind of mixed on that. I think that's pretty good design, but on the other hand, sometimes you really want to get engaged in this, like, deeper lore, you know? if I should just continue taking this stuff out. Let's continue going through what I already have revealed here. And they still don't seem really interested in dropping another dreadnought in this sector. So I think there can only be like 2 dreadnoughts up at once. Yeah, I think Metroid does have a timeline, except for the fact that I don't think Prime is considered canon. I'm kind of confused on how they feel about that at times. Yeah, exactly, Nintendo fan. This game does a good job of that. It doesn't really say... If it tells you, hey, go do this thing, and you decide, no, I want to go do this in first, they're not yelling at you the entire time and saying, no, you can't do that yet, you have to go do this first. They never do that. They're just like, they just let you go do your thing. And again, that's what I think, when I think of a concept like open world, that's what I expect. Now, I heard some people didn't like this game because of that, because it doesn't really put you through tutorials or anything. It just kind of drops you on the planet and then leaves you to, like, whatever you want to do. But I think that pays off. Now, granted, the first planet I was on for, like, 8 fucking hours, because I was just trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. But...
Frontier data array located.
I would have preferred, looking back, I prefer that over, like, an hour of tutorials that was just, like, just listening to dialogue and not actually letting me play.
Target destroyed.
Nice choice. Your weapon's tearing them apart.
I'm on fire.
They also, not to add to the Star Fox comparisons, but they take a note from Star Fox 64, and you notice none of this dialogue pauses the game. They just talk to me while I'm playing. You can be traversing the planet, you can be fighting stuff while you're listening to them, like, talk about what's happening in the storyline and stuff. They never stop you to make you listen, and that's something that like, a lot of people hate it when games do that. When they say stop, like, here, play the game, okay, now stop playing and listen as we talk at you. Like, most people don't like it when games do that, so... There's a few cinematics in this game, but there's not many, and they're not very long.
Tell you the truth, they were safer under lock and key.
Yeah, exactly. Monster Hunter's pretty bad about that. They'll outright, like, pause the game to say, to explain things to you, and it's like, man, shut the hell up and let me play it. Like, that's one of the things that Monster Hunter definitely does not do well, I don't think. Now, Generations did it much better because they made most of the tutorials optional, because they were like, they acknowledged the fact that there's a lot of people who have been playing these games for a while, and they were like, let's just let people jump into it if they want to. But yeah, 4 and especially 3. 3 is really bad with the tutorials. And they're not, like, intuitive tutorials. They're just these characters talking at you, and you're like, man, could you just, like, I don't care. Shut up and let me play, please.
Warning. Legion incoming.
We're having a little bit of trouble here.
successful. Legion data received and processed.
And that's nice to hear, Art and Nintendo fan. Like, I don't know. I've talked to a few people lately though who seem to think that I'm actually very closed-minded, and I think they think I'm closed-minded because I don't drop to my knees and praise Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, it's because they're not perfect. Like, I've talked to a few people lately who have been like, what do you mean you don't think these games are, like, the best ever made? And I'm like, they're not. Like, they're good, but they're great even, but they're not perfect. No game is perfect. Like, you'd be surprised how many... Breath of the Wild especially, you'll find a lot of people who are like... They think it's just like this perfect game, and I'm like... I wouldn't say that. So therefore, my review of such a game would probably not be good, because they would probably just focus on that part, and not the parts where I'm saying, this part of the game is really well done, because I could spend, like, hours gushing about what Breath of the Wild does correctly, but it doesn't make it perfect. There were still missteps that made me not like the game that much. Why did I think that was the chest? I was like, why is the prompt not coming up? What are you doing, buddy? I still have to find more of those stupid chickens and scan them. After I figure out how the hell to get in here. Is that it?
Just came in. Good thing we got so
squeeze in a little bit there.
Pals, huh?
I also wish I had more examples than those two games, because I know how that sounds, but... Get, there we go. It even goes back to retro games. That might be a good way of putting it. Because people think Super Mario World and A Link to the Past are like the best games ever made too, and I'm like, no. They do some things correctly, and then there's other things that are just kind of like middle of the road, and people are looking at them through nostalgia glasses. Yeah, and I guess that's it, Art. I am not a Nintendo yes man. Like, that's why View made a video about this, and I agree with this completely, because I'm usually willing to call Nintendo out on their bullshit. But then with the Switch Online service, people were freaking out, and I was like, this isn't one of their worst missteps. This isn't that bad. Why are people freaking out about this in particular? Like, I'm usually one where I'll be like, hey, Nintendo, you're doing this wrong, but I didn't feel like that was one of them. The thing that sucks is sometimes I can definitely look at something that I love and criticize it and say, here's what they're doing wrong. Some people tend to see that as me hating it, but, like, I'm not necessarily hating it, I'm just refusing to accept the fact that it might be perfect, because it's not. And I think it's totally healthy to look at stuff like that and say, okay, here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff. I think it's healthy to even look at bad games and say, here's what they do, here's something they do right. If they do anything right. That is sometimes the problem. Sometimes they don't do anything right. Sonic 2006 wasn't 100% awful. Mighty Number 9 was. I can't find anything about that game to be happy about.
Ship temperatures in...
A problem I'm noticing with these overnight streams is I kind of get on these rants, and then next thing I know, I'm like, well, there's an entire page of chat here that I haven't been reading. So let me back up a little bit. And yeah, I agree with that view. I think sometimes people take my passion as like rage for some weird reason. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if that's something wrong with the way I present my opinion, or if that's just like, I guess being passionate and raging are both in a roundabout way getting worked up about something. So I guess people are oversimplifying it and misreading it as rage. I don't know. Yeah, I was talking to a friend back when the Switch Online service came out, and like they pointed out that like how much money per week does the average person spend on like gas? Or like what about people that smoke? How much money do you spend on cigarettes every week? And you're telling me that $20 a year is going too far? You have some serious budget problems if $20 a year is going to break you. Now, if you aren't going to be using the online service, then, you know, just don't get it. Like, you can just pass on it. But, yeah, like I don't know. Thankfully, the Switch Online service stuff mostly passed, and, like, you don't really hear people complaining about it too much anymore. If anything, you hear people complaining about, like, yo, could you add NES games a little bit faster, please? And I agree with that. Honestly, I think they should have every NES game that was on other virtual console systems, services, they should be on the Switch service already. Why do we have to wait for games that are already available on Wii U and 3DS and the Wii? That doesn't make any sense. Like, again, I'm not afraid to call them out on stuff like that. Oh, there's still more? Shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's like I mentioned yesterday. I was thinking about like making a. If I were to make a Smash Brothers, here's what my roster would be. Like, here's what I would make the roster. But a lot of people aren't gonna like it, so I kind of feel the same way about reviews. Like, I could review games, but I feel like most people are not gonna like my opinions about the games. Ow. Jerk. That's another one, Seven. Yeah, if you eat out twice a week, you're spending more money in a week than you are on the online service. Do you go to McDonald's on your way to work every day? Cut back on it twice a week, and you paid for Switch Online for a year. Like, I never understood how people were like, they were outraged at $20, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how? I don't get it. But like I said, it's kind of like people won't really talk about it as much anymore, so I think they kind of got over it. Just like a bunch of chests all around. Okay, this one's from combat. Getting a bunch of loot here. Yeah, I wouldn't get the NES Joy-Cons, not for that amount of money. That's a lot of money to spend on novelty. Yeah, you're not wrong, View. Like, the real reason I would not do reviews is because I absolutely hate doing video editing. That's the breaker for me. If I were to do reviews, it would be a very, like, uncut, unedited kind of thing. But then I feel like I would risk rambling and it lasting an hour. Something I wanted to do is, like, I wanted to make a rating system, and every single game I played on stream, I would give a rating when I was done with it, so that people could, like, look at the rating list and be like, okay, here are his opinions about such and such a game. Or see, like, oh, did he play this game? What did he think of it? They could just find stuff like that, like, relatively quickly. But even that was tough, because I was like, the first thing I did was sit down and try to decide what every number would be, like, worth. Like, how good would a game have to be to get a 10 out of me? And I eventually was like, games can't get a 10, because 10 I would consider perfection, and I don't think there are any games that are perfect. Even my, like, greatest games of all time, I wouldn't give a 10 to, I don't think.
Part about prospecting on a shard ain't the heat or atmosphere. It's all that ash. Sticks to everything, including your lungs.
Wasn't there another chest here, or did I get it? I think I might have gotten it while on autopilot. Looks like it.
Outlaw hostiles detected.
Hey, assholes. What's up?
I'm coming for you, mud breath. Ouch. That must have hurt.
Nice one. Those chumps will think twice before they come back.
Yeah, I've mentioned that a few times, View. I don't remember what game it was we were talking about, where I was like, you seem to think I hate this game, and I'm, like, trying to boycott it, and I'm like, I don't. Like, that's not what it should be coming across as. I think maybe sometimes I focus on the negatives too much. I've been trying to do better about that with Starlink. I've been trying to, like, not just bitch about the paywall all the time. I've been trying to still talk about, like, here's what I think this game does really well, here's why I'm really enjoying it. I've been trying to focus more on that than anything, because I know a lot of people are going to hear paywall, and they're immediately going to be like, nope. Like, they are not even going to listen to anything else about the game, so... I also think, like, I know you're joking, Nintendo fan, but I think part of it is, I think if a game was revolutionary, people confuse that for being, like, best game. And a game can be revolutionary without necessarily being one of the best games ever made. Like, those are two very different things. Ocarina of Time was revolutionary. Would I say it's like the best Zelda ever made? No. Because later games improved on the formula. Mario 64 is the same way. Like, it was revolutionary, but other Mario games have, like, done it better since. So... But some people will still say it's, like, the best ever made because it's revolutionary, but it's... I disagree with that.
Yeah, that weapon's doing the trick.
Yeah, so I've talked to a few people about this. For a while now, ever since I finished Skyward Sword, I was like, I'm gonna play another Zelda game someday. I'm just not sure which one. For a very long time, for months, it's been... I should do Ocarina of Time because I haven't played it in 20 years. And it would... 20 years is a long time. Like, it's basically a blind playthrough at that point. I'm really worried that I'm not gonna like it, that I'm just gonna hate it, and I'm gonna be like, my god, it's gonna be nothing but 6 episodes, 4 hours each of me bitching about how the game hasn't aged well. I'm terrified that that's what the playthrough's gonna be, so I keep putting it off and thinking, god, maybe I should play something else instead. Cause yeah, like, I don't know, I have fond memories of the N64 one. Well, I have fond memories of Ocarina of Time. I hated Majora's Mask. I really did not like Majora's Mask very much. I can see why people do like Majora's Mask. I'll say that. And sometimes liking a game and seeing why people like it are very different things. But I personally do not have good memories of that game. I've heard that the 3DS version was actually, like, a lot better because they made a lot of quality of life improvements, but that probably depends on who you ask. People who loved the original might not have cared for it much. I'm not sure. But yeah, I've been putting off doing another Zelda playthrough because I can't commit to any one of them. My gut says do Ocarina of Time, take it back as far as it goes in terms of 3D, and then work forward, but I'm, like, really afraid that I'm just gonna be like, this is bad. This is, like, just not a good game. Especially because I don't have the nostalgia for it. Like, I have a little bit of fond memories, but it was mostly fond memories of playing it with friends and such.
Successful. Access granted.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Nintendo fan. Like, look at freaking Rob. Like, the freaking toy turned Smash Brothers fighter. That thing was revolutionary, and it saved the goddamn industry. That doesn't mean it was a good game, or that it was a good idea for a character in Smash Brothers. Like, but it was still... It can be a bad game while also being revolutionary. Like, that's a thing. Those are not exclusive. To be fair, I don't know anything about the... fuck are they called? Like, the Gyromite game? Or is that what it's called? I don't know anything about those, but since nobody talks about them, that kind of leads me to think it probably wasn't a good game.
Launching data decryption.
Still saved the industry, though, so it was still a revolution.
Target destroyed. Gravity's so strong.
A lot of people shit on the Wii for being casual garbage. And it had the code name Revolution. It was literally a revolution for the industry. Like, it took games to another level.
Keep it up. They can't take much more.
Even if the motion control was shoddy and clunky at best, it was still, you know, it was still revolutionary. That's why I'm comfortable saying, with Breath of the Wild in particular, I think it's an amazing open-world game, I think it's a bad Zelda game. And it's like, they can be both. It can be a good open-world game while also being a bad Zelda game. Like... Four Sword Adventures? I actually did have that back in the day.
Hack successful. Access granted.
I don't really remember it that much. And I know you hate the Smash speculation, but I feel like Vaati would be an awesome character for Smash. Like, there's a Zelda character they should put in. Alright, do I have anything else, like, out here, or do I have to start, like, plunging into this territory? I think I'm gonna have to start plunging into this territory. So let's start carving away at this cloud. Yeah, you can technically play it solo, but I'd have to, like, get my hands on the game. Yeah, ever since Brawl, I've been saying Vaati would be a really cool Zelda character. To add, like, a villain that isn't Ganon. I thought that would be a pretty cool idea.
Establish camp and mine electrum for
That and he's, like,
production
a
of their
mage.
sons.
There's not many mage characters in Smash, so that would have also been cool. Yeah, I kind of want a Beast Ganon of some sort, too. I think that would also be cool. Honestly, if I do a this is what I would make the roster, I would probably cut Ganondorf and put Beast Ganon in. Like, that's probably something I would do. We don't need Captain Falcon clone Ganondorf anymore, like, we don't. Like, give us, like, an actual Ganon. Make, like, a new design. Let's start heading this way and see what we find. Like, pull what they did with Sheik and Brawl and just, like, make a totally new design, like, just for Smash Brothers. And be like, this is Ganon. I like Ganondorf as a character, but I'm also kind of over it, if that makes sense.
Looks like another Warden Spire up there.
We need to find a good spot for an observatory, is what we're currently looking for.
I wonder what's inside of it. I'll mark it on the map for later.
That's a good idea, because I'm not stopping for it right now. I guess I could, but... Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, see him on my map, but not on the screen. Ganondorf would be fine if Smash was still, like, smaller scale, but it's so, like, larger scale now that I feel like you have to, like, those are gonna be the characters that are gonna make people go, like, whoa. Like, Smash is so over the top now that I think they should be adding characters that make you go, wow, you wouldn't see this shit in Street Fighter. Like, that's the sort of reactions they should be going for. Like, if a character is too run-of-the-mill and expected, then I don't think that's what they should be doing. Kind of how, like, Pokken did. A lot of the characters in Pokken are like, wow, you would never see this in a fucking Tekken game. Like, this is crazy. Like, they did also, like, they put a fucking haunted chandelier in that game, for fuck's sake. Like, come on. It's amazing. How, that's so cool. How do you even come up with that shit? Like, that's what they need to do with Smash. And maybe that's what I don't like about this Smash, is they haven't done anything that's made me go, wow, I can't believe they did that. Like, that's a ballsy move. I always think of Greninja, honestly, in Smash 4, because, like, I didn't see that one coming. That was kind of out of nowhere. Can I seriously not find a hive right now? I'm starting to get a little annoyed. I might have to drop an observatory, like, here, and maybe over there, too. There's gotta be one here somewhere, right? Yeah, let's just go this way and see what we can find. Honestly, I think most people here's the division between the two types of Smash fan. Because everybody who knows anything about Smash, who plays any degree of Smash, has a dream character that is usually something that's never going to happen. And that's where the community branches off. You have the people who are like, well, this is a really cool idea, and I would love to see it in the game, but it's really unrealistic, so I'm just going to kind of, like, not push my luck. And then you have the community that are like, what if they put Sans in Smash Brothers? And it's like, no, keep that shit to yourself. Shut the fuck up, please. Like, I would say my dream off-the-wall character for Smash Brothers would be Wreck-It Ralph. I think that would be an amazing inclusion, but that's not gonna fucking happen, so I don't fucking talk about it, because it's, realistically, it's begging people to say, you're stupid, that's not gonna happen. But somehow it's now socially acceptable for people to say shit like Sans and Shadow and Shadow Mario, and what other stupid shit can I think of? Like, I remember when people wanted Dark Pit in Smash 4, and I was like, that's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard, and he's in the game. That's why I get worried about Smash Brothers, because I am like, they might take one of these stupid ideas and actually put it in the game, and that makes me nauseous, because they've done it before.
Getting too hot.
To a point view, I agree. But like I said, I think some people can take a dream and be like, this isn't necessarily an awesome idea. And they don't force it down everybody's throats. But a lot of Smash... people who are ruining the Smash community for us now, I think, are the people that have these dream picks that are, like, really unrealistic and stupid, but they are shoving it down everybody's throats. They can't just be, like... They don't think about it realistically. If that makes sense. Because you can have, like, a guilty pleasure pick of, like, well, this would be a stupid idea, but I would love it. But... somehow some people have stupid ideas and they think they're not stupid ideas. Does that make sense? Yeah, see, Beautiful Joe is a, like, it would be awesome. It'll never happen, but it would be cool. But you're not going around to streams and saying, and just forcing that opinion on everybody. Like people do with fucking Skull Kid. And you're like, God, shut up about Skull Kid. Like, that's kind of my point, is that, like, it's all about the filter, right? Like, I can see what you mean, View. I think it's amazing that they even acknowledged Shovel Knight enough to put him in as an assist trophy. I still think that's an incredible honor. I would have loved to see him playable, but I'm not mad that he's an assist. I think I'm okay with that. I can take it. Because they still acknowledged him. That means that when they make a Smash 5, he could actually be playable. That's the way I look at it. I do get where you're coming from, too, though. I've talked to other people like that, who are, like, outright mad that he's an assist trophy, but I'm like, it's a foot in the door, is the way I see it. And the fact that they even acknowledged the fact that he was desirable enough is really cool. Like, the fact that they saw Shovel Knight was really popular and didn't just say, fuck that indie garbage, and they decided to put him in any way is amazing to me. Like, that's... like, it shows that they were, like, being a little open-minded. Yeah, Logan, that's a good example. Fire Emblem is another one. It's like, some people might have a Fire Emblem character that they really want to see in Smash, but being mature, you're going to look at it and be like, there's way too many Fire Emblem characters in Smash, and people are just going to tell me to fuck myself if I say I want a Fire Emblem character in there. So maybe I shouldn't. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. Because, yeah, I think Lyn would be an incredible character from Fire Emblem. I think Hector would be an incredible character. But there's too many fucking Fire Emblem characters. So I say that, and I want to tell myself to fuck off. Similar with Pokemon. I can think of dozens of Pokemon that would be really cool to have in there. But there's too many fucking Pokemon. So, no. And that was my point, is that some people don't have that filter. Some people can be like, oh, there's 37 Pokemon in the game, and you know what? They should put Meowth in there, too. It's like, no, shut up. No, you have enough. Stop it. That's kind of why Chrom was stupid to me, because I was like, God, you have all these Fire Emblem characters and you're still not happy? You still have to have Chrom, too. Really? Like, really? Come here, buddy.
DNA profile complete.
Yeah, Waluigi's such a meme now, and I hate it. I like Waluigi as a character, I do. I actually do. I think he's a cool character. But as a meme, I'm fucking sick of him. Like, if Nintendo was like, we're just gonna kill Waluigi so he's no longer a thing, I'd be like, good on you. Good on you. Make these guys shut the hell up, because I am tired of it. And then, like, a year later, I'd be like, man, it kind of sucks that they killed Waluigi, because he was actually kind of cool. People just ruined it.
Starlink, come offload some cores. We could use them.
How many cores do I have? 21. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and quote me on that. Kill Waluigi. I would actually be okay with that being taken out of context and spread around. I would not even be mad.
Getting toasty.
Usually I would be like, I never said that. Don't fucking... But no, you know what? I don't care. I didn't tell you guys... I didn't tell anybody this. I didn't tell any mods this. I didn't tell any fellow streamers this. I almost set up Chatbot to delete any message that contains the word Waluigi. I almost did it. What I'd really like to do is make it so that it would censor the word Waluigi with, like, another word, but there's no way to do that. And it makes me sad, because I feel like I could have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, there's a few things I was gonna put on the blacklist, so it would just delete. So it would just delete those messages whenever somebody said that thing. They were mostly memes that I was like, I don't want to hear these anymore. God, there has to be something in here, right? Alright, so I guess I only have 2 observatories on this planet. I'm gonna drop one here to kind of get some of this uncovered. Yeah, I'd say half of the Pokemon, like, again, if I were to sit down and say, like, here's what my roster would be, I think half of the Pokemon would stay and the other half would probably get out. Like, you gotta have Pikachu. I personally feel like you gotta have Mewtwo. I think I'd cut the rest and then add a new one. I'm gonna go with that. I think I would cut the rest of them and then add a totally new one as the 3rd slot. Maybe maybe keep Charizard, but that's a big maybe. Personally, I don't really like the idea of having, like, all 3 of them being first gen. I don't really love that.
Starlink database updated. Uplink established. Breaching Legion data core.
But it's kind of like what I've said. If I were in control of something like that, it would be a nobody is safe character cut. Like,
Be advised, procedure has a high probability of attracting Legion reinforcements.
Yes.
Warning, Legion incoming.
That weapon's doing crazy damage. Keep going.
Taking fire damage.
but I don't know. It also depends on how large the roster would be at the end of the day. Because clearly if it's still 70 characters, you can make room for like 5 Pokemon. That's not a big deal. But if you're cutting it down to like 24, yeah, maybe dial it back to like 3. For starters, at least.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
But like, it's not just Pokemon. Fire Emblem would probably have most of their shit cut. I'd probably cut a lot of the Mario characters and a lot of the Zelda characters. And a lot of it would be making room for new ones, I think. Let's Go, you mean? Because Pokemon Go just released... Like, they're in the process of releasing Gen 4 right now. Yeah, you know, like, I thought Greninja was an interesting pick, but I'm kinda over it, so I'd probably drop him and put something else in. And maybe Lucario as well. I don't know.
Target destroyed.
Nah, legendary Pokemon are fucking stupid, honestly. There's way too many of them. They're not even interesting anymore. I mean, they've been dialing it back in, like, in the recent installments, but I think it was, like, Generation 5 where there was, like, 17 new legendaries or something stupid like that. Like, no, I'm over it. Legendaries are dumb. I think then X and Y only had 3, and I was like, now we're talking. Like, we're dialing it back, like, making them actually, like, kind of mean something now, and actually be, like, interesting. And then freaking Sun and Moon had, like, 13 of them again. It's like, are you kidding me?
Structure called Fate's Anchor is what put all this fire and ash on a Ashar. Used to trigger these massive firestorms that rolled over...
That's right, X and Y had other ones, but they were events. I forgot about that. You are correct. Yeah, there's a hilarious number of legendaries. It's particularly in 4th and 5th gen, I think, were the ones where it really got out of hand. But yeah, Pokemon Go, they're in the process of releasing 4th gen right now. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are all there. And 4th is, like, being released, like, as we speak. Alright, give me a quick minute. I have Discord blowing up. Was it only 13? I could have sworn it was higher than that. One of the games has an outright ridiculously high number. I mean, 13's kind of high. That's getting there. I think that was my problem, View. Now, I'm kind of not fully remembering all of them, but if I remember right, most of the ones in 5th gen were stupid. Like, they weren't even, like, cool legendaries. But yeah, I say... I want to say 6 legendaries is, like, an okay number. I think that's tolerable. Because then you can have, like, your obligatory trio of legendaries that are kind of, like, related in some way, and then you can have a few others that are, like, the end game legendaries. I think that would be alright. But then, yeah, it got to twice that for a while, and I was like, why are there so many? And there's, like, 3 different trios. It's ridiculous.
Observatory operational. Come visit us when you're ready. We could use your help. I see you're carrying some cores with you. We'd be happy to purchase some if you're selling.
Yeah, Generation 1 and 2 had 5 and 6 each, and yeah, I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's too insane. Man, we've been here for almost 2 hours already, and there's still so much to do on this planet. It's crazy. I love it. Do I still have to scan one of those chickens? No, we're good on that. Alright, let's actually grab a quest here and see where they might decide to send us. Yes and no. When it comes to Pokemon dropping in quality, I think sometimes they still make some really cool designs every now and then, but like there are also some designs where it's like, what the hell is this? Like, is like... This one was like 2 minutes away from being thrown in the trash can, wasn't it? There's definitely some really bad ones, but then they also have some really cool ones, so... But then you gotta look back and say, was everything in 1st gen 100% awesome? No. Like, there were some stinkers in 1st gen.
Imagine what it must have been. Snoods don't appear. I'll need help if I've received reports of wild nova growth nearby. The corruption has grown over some old containers, sealing them. Our experiments into electrum manipulation are elementary.
I literally can't get gravity nova. Fuck you.
Most people, we can see. I've heard reports the Legion.
That's the one I needed. Shit.
Most people. I'm reading enough. My researchers corrupt.
Apologies in advance for this.
Snoods don't. I'm reading enough. The Legion.
There it is.
I'll get that for you.
Fantastic. This will help me track the herds
as
they flee the Legion, and keep them as safe as we can.
Pick up an Enderbite egg, so it's not something I have to attack them to get. It's just gonna be something lying around. Alright, cool. And yeah, that's the thing, View. When they're making like 150 to 200 new Pokemon every single generation, yeah, they're not all gonna be winners. I think the ones that bother me are like the missed opportunities that are like a really cool idea, but they didn't like go all the way with it. There was that one Pokemon in Sun and Moon that was like, it was a koala bear, and I was like, that's awesome, there's no koala Pokemon. Like, this is gonna be great, I wonder what this thing's gonna evolve into. Surprise, it doesn't evolve. What are you doing? You had a great concept there. You even had the twisted, like... So like the twisted lore of like the koala is like asleep all the time and it's actually the log that's the Pokemon or something. Like there's a bunch of weird shit with that Pokemon, but it doesn't evolve. Like that's wasted opportunity. Like it could have been so cool, but they were like, it's just gonna be a one-off. Like that's the stuff that bothers me. But even then, every generation has something like that. They have those one-offs that feel like they could have been something better. So it's not like Sun and Moon was the first time they did that.
Database says that's an Enderbite egg. Wow, so Enderbites hatch from those. They must love the heat.
Take it.
I see you're carrying some cores.
Shut the fuck up about my cores. Yeah, at least Pokemon doesn't do that. They don't make like a purple Pikachu and say this is a purple chew. It's a completely different Pokemon, even though it's just a different color. Yeah, Gen 1 was like kind of safe-ish. Gen 2 is like kind of safe-ish too. And then like Gen 3 I don't really like because a lot of them are just Gen 1 Pokemon except slightly different. Like they all fill the same like niche, you know? It was like they were saying, we need to make a new Pokemon game and make completely new Pokemon, but just make them what the old Pokemon were, but different. So they were like, okay, so we need a new Rattata, and we need a new Pidgey, and we need a new Rattata that isn't a rat, but is instead maybe a cat or a dog. And it's like, a lot of those are really boring to me. Like, there are some winners in 3rd gen still. There's still some really cool ideas in there. Camerupt is fucking amazing. A camel with volcanoes for its humps, that's a A+ idea. It's fantastic. But there's a lot of trash in 3rd gen too. That's just like overly generic and boring. Gen 2 was a good game, but the Pokemon were boring. I think. But, like, as a game, it was a really good game, I thought. I thought it was, like, everything you'd want in a sequel. Like, it took the game and was like, okay, here's more of the same, except everything is better. Like, I think it was a really good game. It's just, there's a lot of Pokemon in there that are like, what is this? This is boring. This is dumb. Personally, opinion. And again, I think there were some good Pokemon in there, but... And yes and no, Logan, like, every gen has a Pidgey and a Rattata, but was that X and Y, where their Pidgey is like, it's gonna be a fire type this time? Do more shit like that. Like, yeah, give us a generic little rat normal type thing and then make it evolve into like an ice type or something crazy like that. That's the fun way to do it, because then you're keeping people, then your people are like not expecting it. They're like, oh look, this is just another Pidgey, and then they're gonna run into the evolution and be like, oh my god, it's a fire type now. Fuck. Like, that's the cool way of doing it. But then they had, in 3rd gen, they had Swellow, and it was like the exact same thing as Spearow, realistically. It was just another bird that was still a normal type. It learns the same moves. It's basically the same Pokemon. And then, yeah, I love Gen 4, but it does the same thing. Bidoof is basically another Rattata. It's basically the same damn thing, except it's a beaver now. Starly's basically the exact same thing as Pidgey. It's a cool design, but like when it comes down to like the gameplay of it, they're basically just the same thing. And that makes them kind of boring and forgettable. Gen 5 had Watchog and Unfezant, however you pronounce that. And they're both like... they're the exact same thing. It's like, this is so boring. Like, anything else, please. Just twist it in some way. Sometimes design is enough, but like... I'm gonna tell a story really quick. We're gonna have a trademarked beautiful TV story time right now. How's that sound? I'm gonna steal one of you's bits. Yeah, Noctowl did Noctowl become dark? Or was it still just normal and flying? But yeah, you're thinking of Natu and Xatu. That's the little green one that turns into like the totem pole looking bird. That's the one that comes. That's psychic. And yeah, he stands out because that is something like new and interesting. Noctowl does not really stand out as much, even though owls are super cool. He might learn some psychic moves, but he's not outright a psychic type. But he might be capable of learning. I don't know, I never raised one, to be honest. But yeah, a couple years ago, I decided to get into game design. And, like, a lot of you know this, because I've mentioned, like, researching game design. And that's why, like, sometimes I'll talk about stuff and be like... That's, like, when it comes to, like, a Smash Brothers roster, I tend to look at it from, like, a game design perspective. What creates new, interesting mechanics? That's because I've spent some time researching it. I don't think I'm, like, a master at this stuff. But I have looked into it and, like, read about it a bit to try and understand more of, like, how it works. And the first and only company I worked with, it was like an upstart company. It wasn't like a company anyone's ever heard of, but they wanted to create a Pokemon clone. So that was my job as the art director, I was essentially creating Pokemon. I was like making my own Pokemon and trying to like make them Pokemon without just being ripoffs. So I made like 150 different Pokemon, almost 200, because I was working with some other artists and I like took their designs and like polished them up and like made them workable. And so that's why it hurts me to see when in a Pokemon game when they have something that's just like that's the exact same thing as this other Pokemon, because like when I was doing that as a job, I was constantly thinking about, like, well, there's already, like, this is kind of generic. What can we do to spice it up? Like, what can we do to, like, fix this and make it something more interesting? And that's why it hurts when I see stuff like 3rd gen and they're just like, here's another bird and here's another, you know, small, angry mammal. And it's like, do something to catch, like, to just make it a little bit different. Sadly, that's like so far removed from my mind that I can't even think of like examples, because this was years ago and I kind of blocked out the memories because it was like a very frustrating time. The programmers were not very... They weren't really made out to be game developers, to be blunt. Like, they didn't really have a clue as to what they were doing, in my opinion. And that really held us back. But, my buddy Bill that's been here before, he was one of the artists that worked on it with me, so, like, he knows what I went through, too. But yeah, one of the other artists we had, there was a lot of, like, quote-unquote Pokemon that they made where I was like, dude, this is literally a Pokemon that already exists. Like, you took... It's a normal type rabbit. I'm pretty sure those exist already. We gotta find something to do here to make it slightly different. I think there was, like, a frog that I was like, dude, we already have, like, water-type frogs. That's a thing. What if we make it an electric frog? That was, like, my job, was to twist these into making them something new and interesting. And that's why I'll sometimes be, like... kind of like overly critical of those designs is because I see the wasted potential. I see that there could have been something really interesting there, but they decided not to go with it for whatever reason. There was one of the designs was a chameleon. It was literally just a chameleon. Like, it wasn't even like a cartoon chameleon or anything. And I was like, what? Like, how do I even fix this? It's literally just a chameleon. So I made it that, like, it was basically Parasect. It wasn't too super like unique of an idea, except it was a chameleon instead of a crab. But it grew these giant mushrooms on its back, and then it was like, well, maybe the mushrooms are actually controlling this thing. And then I turned it into this, like, grass poison type. I think we called them different types, but I turned it into one of the starters. I had to take something that was, like, the most generic thing I've ever seen, and I was like, it's a starter now, because shit. Like, why not?
Target destroyed.
I actually always forget that Golduck isn't a psychic type. I always think he does evolve into a psychic type, but you're correct, he does not. Yeah, it always struck me as weird that with the flying type thing. Alright. Focus for a little bit here because I need some stasis canisters. Anybody see that? I turned around so quickly that I caught the fact that there was stuff behind me that hadn't loaded yet. It's interesting. There's one. That's a heat canister, son of a bitch. There's one. God, I need these to get into the... I need these to get into the ruins and to open these crates. This is terrible.
Our prospector allies have delivered a shipment of Electrum.
The Switch actually is not as underpowered as a lot of people think. I've talked about this before, but it being underpowered is kind of like something that third parties have fabricated. I would have to fact check this again to be sure, because as I'm saying it, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure if this is actually correct. I think it's as powerful as the PS4 and the Xbox One, the original PS4 and the Xbox One. The Pro and the Xbox One X blow it out of the water, but it's on par with PS4 and Xbox One, I believe. I think it's a lot more powerful than people give it credit for, because third parties don't want you to know that it's actually pretty powerful, because they want their excuse of the Switch isn't powerful enough. So that's why we're not doing it. They cling to their excuses. But, I think this game is actually a good example of, like, how powerful the Switch is. Honestly, that quick turnaround and, like, oh, that stuff isn't loaded, that's, like, I don't hold that against the game. You see that in a lot of games. That's not that unusual. It's 60 FPS, I'm pretty sure. Like, they were able to... I haven't seen graphical comparisons, but, like, they were able to get this running, like, perhaps just as good on Switch as the other platforms. So it comes down to how much the developer cares. We were talking about this a bit last night, because there's that one studio, JMT can help me out on this again. Was it Panic Button? I think those are the ones that are famous for, like, taking games from developers that are like, we can't put this on Switch, it won't fit, and they're like, and they figure out how to do it. Like, it's just, they have to care enough to make it happen, and a lot of developers don't. A lot of developers are just like, eh. I need another goddamn stasis canister, and I can't fucking find one. Is that it? That's a heat canister. God damn it. And there's another gravity canister. This is fucking terrible. What were they thinking? Whoa. Gravity. So I'm gonna have to leave and find the canister elsewhere. That makes me grumpy. Well, yeah, we're basically gonna have to come back once the stasis canisters have respawned, which is really stupid.
Uplink established. Breaching Legion data core. Remain nearby to maintain connection.
Target destroyed.
Now, one thing I will point out is that when you are playing the Switch in actual handheld mode, yes, it does have reduced power, but in docked mode, it doesn't. So I'm not too sure I understand how that works. I guess because it's just because of the screen it's displaying it on, maybe? I don't know. Part of me says that, and I'm like, no, does that even make sense? But I'm pretty sure it performs a little worse in handheld mode. So that is, in fact, a thing. But that might be the case, yeah. Something like that. I don't know. I've researched game design, I have not researched hardware. I don't know anything about that shit. And I will admit that up front.
That note's out.
The extractor is vulnerable. Target the main structure.
Oh, I guess I should start thinking about like how late I feel like going tonight. It's already been about 2 hours, probably about another hour-ish. Maybe finish up this planet and then. Yeah, it is getting late for you. Well, thanks for hanging out. I do think I'm gonna take off tomorrow, so probably see you again on Monday then. I mean, like, there's Discord too, of course. Where was I? Yeah, let's just keep carving a path this way. How many freaking mods do I have? 96 new ship mods. Holy cow. I have to go through that inventory. I don't think I could work a job like that, JMT. My mind doesn't even work in dealing with people like that.
Warning. Legion reinforcements incoming.
Which I know, it's insurance, right? Is it like car insurance, or is it like all types of insurance?
It's on my ship. Yes.
Is he dead? No, he's not dead.
To anyone receiving this, I'm stranded. Help me.
Seriously? Oh boy. Oh, I get you. Alright, let's see. Open up. Open up. Where's the guy that, like, broke down? Is that you? Here you go, buddy.
Bit off a bit more than I could chew there. Much obliged, friend.
Not sure how you got downed in the midst of all that, but alright.
Good news. We just received a shipment of Electrum from our prospector allies. Uplink established. Breaching Legion data core. Remain nearby to maintain connection. Legion device identified. Initiate hacking procedure. Be advised.
Yeah, I always like when I'm dealing with anything like that, when like I'm on the customer side and somebody says like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to look into that," or "Give me a minute." I always make a point of being like, no rush, take as long as you need, like, because I know how many impatient people they have to deal with. So I always want to be like, you know, like, don't stress out, like, really, like, just, it's no problem at all.
Legion reinforcements have arrived.
That's the right weapon for the job. Keep firing.
Target destroyed. Gravity's so strong.
I don't think I know what that is. But also, Pennsylvania has a very bad rap for having bad drivers, so I'm sure that's part of it too. When I lived in Virginia, that's like like I heard that all the time. People were like, "Man, people from driving from Pennsylvania are like terrible drivers." I'm like, really? I don't know. Living in Pennsylvania, all we look at is people from New York are terrible drivers.
Launching data decryption.
I'll take that, why not?
One down. Taking fire damage.
Hack successful. Access granted.
Outlaws.
Okay, let's see. We have like all three spires like right here. Cool shit.
Jar were turned into prisoners who mined the Electrum for the prospectors. It was cruel punishment, but nobody raised much of a stink.
That's just a PA thing? It's just like an extra form and... I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder why it's like just a PA thing. Hi guys. Oh, I get you. So there may be other states like that, but just not ones you deal with. Gravity and fire, and I know now that I only need one gravity canister for this, so this is like not too bad.
Getting very strange readings from this spire. It appears to be my stars. The Wardens were communicating with the Legion. This must have served as a type of communication tower.
Don't we already kind of know that they're, like, more or less the same thing? Or was Carl not paying attention in school? Let's... I want to go. Where do I want to go? Let's go over here. Good work, guys. I thought we just killed him. Get out of here. So imp over there. Cool, this is just fire and ice. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Oh, of course, so then they all have to pitch a fit because they have to pay more, right? And they blame you for it, I'm sure. I don't even deal with, like, I don't even work in customer service, and, like, I know, like, what the average customer is gonna put somebody through. It's because I know people who have worked in customer service for, like, decades, so, like... I've just heard stories, and I get it. Lawhawk raid. I was lurking in your stream for a little bit earlier, but I couldn't stay long, sadly. That's alright. That's alright, 7. I do that all the time. I have to switch my weapons back. Yes, do it. Alright, let's give it a minute. Nick C, how's it going? Stone Raven. Brad, how's it going? Taya? And Lasagna 2015, gaming lawyer himself. How are you guys doing? How did the rest of your stream go? With Little Nightmares? Oh, 7 won the roulette thing. We good. You stuck with about what to do with a stool. Oh, cool! You finished the main game. I the other night when I was watching, like, I had the audio on, but like I was trying not to watch because I haven't played Little Nightmares yet, and I'd like to at some point. So I was trying to avoid spoilers, but it looks like a pretty cool game. Redactyl? I'm gonna go with Redactyl. How's it going? Thanks for coming along on that raid, and thank you for Gaming Lord / G-Law. I don't know what your actual name is. I don't know if that's something you share, but thank you for bringing that raid over here. And if you guys haven't checked out Gaming Lawyer already, you should definitely do so. Seven dropped his link up there a little bit ago. Yeah, it can be tough because like Celeste was another game that I was like, I really wanted to get and play it, and I like kept seeing all these streamers play it, and I was like, man, I really want to watch this game, but I want to get it myself because I know it looks like a game I'll like. I also always feel bad telling people like even stopping in and saying hi and then immediately being like, I'm not gonna stay because I don't want spoilers, and I'm always worried that they like take it personally. So I've just started not saying anything. Alright, G-Law it is. That works. Alright, Stone Raven, thanks for coming in on that raid and hanging out for even just a little bit. Still appreciated. I need another freaking stasis canister, and of course I'm not going to be able to find one. Grump, grump, grump. Guess I could go... What's this treasure chest doing over here? Yoink. See, I'd be more forgiving of this slight flaw if they actually made sure to leave enough canisters around to do this stuff. And thank you for the subscription as well, Stone Raven, and anyone else who may have done so and didn't have an alert pop up. I know that happens sometimes. Yeah, Art, I definitely recommend Celeste. I still have to finish it. Like, I keep putting it off. I don't know why. Yeah, I hope you get that worked out soon, Brad. Especially now that I'm doing these overnight streams, it'll give me a raid target. And that would be pretty cool. Because last night I ended and there was like, I had nobody live, so I was like, I guess we're just not raiding tonight. I mean, it's a lie. I talked one of my viewers / streamer buddies into starting an unlisted stream and then went straight at him. But still.
I'm burning up. It's on my ship. Target destroyed.
That sucks. And you said it's like, I'm not sure exactly why you use a VPN, I guess. Is it just like a problem with the internet that it like doesn't route correctly or something? Is that like the only way you can actually get through to YouTube? Oh, I didn't think of that. I gotcha. That makes sense. Well, I need 3 of them for this. And now see, like here at least, there's dozens of these canisters sitting around, so it's not a big deal. It's still a little cumbersome, but I'm also not timed for this one. That's another bonus. I have all the time in the world. For those who are unfamiliar with Starlink, this is Starlink. And I think it's a really great game, but they made one major misstep with, like, microtransactions / DLC paywalls, and this is it. And it's basically like you have these puzzles that aren't required to beat the game or anything, but you need certain weapon elements to be able to do the puzzle. And like, since I don't have a gravity weapon, I have to find these canisters to use them to finish the puzzle. But some of them aren't that bad. Like, this isn't too bad. Some of them are timed, which are really annoying. Go away, gravity well thing. Thank you. The fact that the game is still, like, mostly completable without having to buy this stuff, I think it deserves credit for that to a point. What happened there? Now I have to go get another one. It's a good thing I'm not timed. There we go. But yeah, at least they didn't block, like, a part of the game that was, like, required to, like, complete the game, you know? And I also honestly like the fact, a very aware decision for a Toys to Life game is, like, you can also buy the content digitally for, like, half price, which I feel like that's a pretty good thing, but it's still, like, I don't know, the game kind of comes off as, like, I mean, it's Ubisoft, but they kind of, like, it feels like they expect you to spend money, and therefore you kind of feel like you don't want to spend money, because you're like, no, it's my money, and I can get that. And it's funny, because I was, like, all prepared to, like, spend more money, actually, and get more content, and then I found out that, like, the one weapon I need, you can't just buy the weapon, you have to buy an entire, like, different ship. And I was like, well, now I don't want to spend money, because that's more than I wanted to spend, and it's ridiculous that I have to buy a pilot and a ship that I didn't want just to get this one weapon. But I'm really trying to, like, not harp on that, like, one negative part of the game, because, like, for the most part, it doesn't become an issue, and I've liked the rest of the game, like, a lot. Oops. Yeah, right? Tales of Berseria looked like a really cool game. I was really enjoying watching that one time they streamed it. But to be fair, there's a lot of games that streamer, like, only streamed, like, once and then never touched again. Get off of me.
Swarm detected.
Unusual.
Alright, G-Law, thanks for stopping in and bringing that raid along. And I'm sure I'll see you, How often a week do you stream? It's not super often, right?
To see them wandering like this, they're definitely a threat.
But definitely looking forward to watching more. I always have a lot of fun watching those.
You're in the clear.
Yeah, I thought Thursdays sounded right. And Nick C, thank you for the subscription as well.
Successful. Access granted.
And 7 heading to sleep too. Alright, thanks for hanging out. I'll probably, maybe like another 20 minutes and then I might pack it in. I might be able to finish up this planet before I stop.
So they sent him to a shard. It's why there's so many prisons.
Oh, you don't have to, Seven. I mean, I might not have anybody live, so I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to hang out until then. Especially if you're, like, dead tired. I mean, I guess it's Sunday. You don't have to be up early on Sundays, right? So... I mean, it's up to you, but I get it if you gotta get going. Don't hold it against anybody. Let me check now, actually, and see if I even have anybody live. I have 2, but I don't know if they'll still be going by the time I'm done. Say, it's a crapshoot. They could still be going, they might not be. So if they are, we'll raid. But again, I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't encourage you to hang out that long if you're, like, already falling asleep. Keep expecting that I can just barrel through those. It never seems to work. Alright, what sort of outpost do we need here? Workshop. Let's do a workshop.
Workshop construction complete. Looking to sell some of those cores you're carrying? Fly over here, we'll deal.
Ship temperature's increasing.
Hey Bill, how's it going? Yeah, I have these, yeah, I have my ship and my weapons, like, maximized, like, mastered. I probably have better mods than these, to be honest. I just haven't looked in a while, because they're getting the job done the way they are, so... I forget who it was that, like... The one night, one of the other pilots they have these mentor skills that, like, all of your pilots get that ability, and one of them has, like, doubled experience gain. So I leveled them up the one night, like, just to get that so that I could level things up faster. I think it might be Mason. I think he might be the one that has it. I still have to scan those chicken things, but I never see them. Go away, Glavenus. I want nothing to go. Get over yourself. Oh god, there's another one. Okay. That's, let's head up here. Do this. Oh my god, these things are all over the place. These used to be hard to find, too. Ooh, let's go back and do that. I heard that. Hmm. Oh, it's just another one of these assholes. Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Like, stop, please. What have I done to you? Ugh! I came here and I saved your planet. I plucked infestation right off of you, and you're like, this is how you thank me. Are you still here? Go away. Go away. Shoot. Actually worked. I was expecting him to just keep firing on me.
Caution. Legion forces on arrival.
Oh god, did he come back? Really?
Successful.
Get the hell out of
Legion
here.
data received
Bastard.
and processed.
I miss when the wildlife just left me alone. Okay, let's see. Where was I going? Over here? No, let's go get this first. You better not chase me over here. You better not.
Who are you? We don't deal with strangers. I've got my people working double shifts and we're still not making quota. You want my refinery's internal temp is all over. You know those old ring cells? They're full of useless...
Yes.
Sure, why not?
I'll take that.
Good. I'd hate to see that stuff fall into the...
Send me to do the thing that I was already gonna go do. I like it. Oh, great. Another dreadnought is finally spawning. Well... So much for this universe.
You'll attract some Legion attention when you pick that lock, so be careful.
Launching data decryption.
Hashtag yay. The thing is like, if this game developed more while you were not playing it, I would legitimately be excited, because I'd be like, man, I'm gonna come back in like a month and this, like, everything's just gonna be destroyed and I'm like gonna be basically starting over, and that would be awesome. Like I said last night, I think, I'll just turn the difficulty up to hard and we'll just start over. See what happens. Sounds pretty fun to me. But if it does progress while the game is off, I think it doesn't progress much. It's like pretty slow.
Successful.
There we go.
Access granted.
Hardest part about process.
I still have to find the wonder, so it has to be like in this like sliver, because where else could it be on this planet? That's the only thing I haven't poked my head into yet. It's interesting. So when I come over here, and then we're just gonna come up and around. So there's one more wreck in here, and the wonder's gotta be in here. And I kind of missed the beginning of the game when the wonders were protected by like level 20 Legion, and it was like they were like really hard, but they were still like totally doable. Like you could definitely still do it, you just had to like learn their attack patterns and stuff. Now it's like level 20's nothing, I can just steamroll it. It's kind of sad. Man, 415 degrees Fahrenheit. In the air! Yeah, this is a wonderful planet. Oh, right there was the wreck. And that's right, I did finish scanning the chickens. I don't know why I
Uplink established.
forgot that.
Breaching Legion data core. Remain nearby to maintain connection.
Hey, there's one.
One down.
Caution. Legion forces on arrival.
That weapon's doing crazy damage. Keep going.
What's this? Get out of here, snood.
Taking fire damage. Gravity's so strong.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
Okay. Let's keep going this way. Of course, now there's these friggin' chicken things all over the place. That's typical. Oh, hi. Enjoy.
Starlink database updated.
Yeah, like, these guys used to be so hard at the beginning of the game. Now I'm just like, whatever. It's enough out of you. Alright, so the treasure's like up here. Whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. This way. Okay. Cool. Now let's fuel my OCD by uncovering the rest of this map. Otherwise, we're completed over here. For some reason it says 89% because I still haven't figured out why. But, you know, we have all of the different categories checked off, so I'm going to take that and be happy with it. And we still have to go to Necrom and check that place out. But that will be the next overnight stream, I think. Ooh, there's more treasure, actually.
Launching data decryption.
Target destroyed.
There's also apparently a bunch of stuff out in space that I like haven't explored yet, and I'm kind of curious about that. But I'm not even sure what I'm looking for.
Reminder, corrupted Nova samples like this are a valuable resource. It will fetch a high price at any outpost.
Oh. Yeah, unfortunately I don't think I can keep going for another hour. I mean, I probably could, but... You'll get it on Monday. And even though I said I'm going to take off tomorrow, I might still do an overnight stream? Maybe? I don't know.
Hack successful. Access granted.
Alright, let's... Oops. Well, that was fun. That was also fun. Oh my goodness, what is going on right now? That was the most that, like, the controls have ever just, like, completely gotten away from me. Okay, yeah, we're pretty much done here. Good, just in time for, you know, this dreadnought to just, like, fuck everything up. So, yeah, good. And it looks like these wrecks just, like, constantly come back as well, which kind of makes sense because you get Nova from the wrecks. So, but what the hell do you need Nova for? I don't know. That's something that's bothering me a little bit about this game, is, like, you can basically create an economy to have limitless Electrum and Nova, but nothing ever expects you to spend it. I guess you spend it on creating the outposts and maybe upgrading the outposts, but...
Just point me where I need to go.
Yeah, let's see what the Equinox has to say here.
Affects Atlas from space. Destroy it and stop it from unleashing more primes.
But yeah, I'm kind of like there's no point in building an economy that strong, I guess is kind of my point there. So I have an Atlas tower, or I have a Starlink tower on every map, on every planet, except for Necrom, so I'm gonna have to remember to build one when I'm down there. If the game develops enough, I might actually have a prime there, causing all sorts of chaos by the time I get there. That would be pretty cool, actually. It would be a bit more of a complete experience for people watching. It does say that there's 11, like, big wrecks out here somewhere, I guess. I've found smaller wrecks, but they haven't shown up on the map. So I guess I just need to poke around in space for a while and look for these wrecks. That's probably where the rest of... That's probably what these are. They're probably, like, certain wrecks that I have to find. And that's just, like, the last Warden mod. Alright, yeah. I was hoping to fill at least, like, a couple, like 10 more minutes, but I guess I could go poke around in space and do that, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up. So how many people do we have willing to go on a raid? Give me a roll call. Let's see if we have enough, because I think I do still have 2 people live, so I could put together a small raid if you guys is willing. Watch, I'm gonna refresh YouTube and neither of them are gonna be live now. Seems pretty predictable. No, they're both still going. That one, he might be finishing soon. There's at least 3 of us. We could do a Nintagious raid. That'll be fun. Let me check this. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. I have a feeling this other one is probably about to stop because they're currently watching the credits of the game they were playing, so they're probably not gonna be going much longer. So let me this for you guys. Like I said, we'll do a mini Tagus raid today. It says that there's a few more people watching, but like just in case, they might be hard lurking and might just not want to raid. So, but that's fine. Mini raids can be fun too. And I'll drop the link here for you guys. We're gonna head over to Kenny the Neo Kids tonight. He's playing Splatoon 2 at the moment. Hey Taro, that is very good timing. But also very bad timing, because it means you missed all the stream, so that sucks. But yeah, in time for the raid. So yeah, we're gonna head over to Kenny the Neo Kids. He's playing Splatoon 2. I hope he's not like about to end. He might be, honestly. He might not be going much longer. But we can still stop in and say hi. He's doing Salmon Run at the moment. So I'll see you guys over there. Thank you again for showing up for Nintagious overnight. And I think I'm gonna try and take tomorrow off to recharge. But I'll see you guys Monday night for a week of Halloween streaming, hopefully. So take it easy, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and see you next time.